Welcome back to 24-hour non-stop news. I'm Jody Newsworthy, and we've been watching paint dry for the past 6 hours. Let's check in on our correspondent, Jack, on the street for an update. Jack?
Still a bit wet, Jody. Back to the newsroom.
Thanks, Jack. Wait, this just in. Something big is actually happening.
That's right, Jody. Something big is happening right here in Thunder Bay, on the shore of Lake Superior, the largest freshwater lake in the world. And it's here at Silver Islet, in a ghost town that was once the richest silver mine in the world. And it keeps getting bigger. As you can see behind me, down the Willamette Canyon, the Grand Canyon of the North. Look at the size of this thing. And it ends with a sleeping giant.
Did he just say there's a giant living in Thunder Bay? What could be bigger than interviewing a giant? This could give us the ratings we need to be #1. Oh my goodness. This is going to be the biggest show that we ever do. I've got to get those kids up to Thunder Bay right away. Oh, we're going to do the great, big, gigantic, super huge Thunder Bay show. Oh, I love the smell of high ratings in the morning. It smells like a Gemini Award!
Geographic Kids.
Welcome to Thunder Bay, Ontario, the largest city on the coast of Lake Superior, which has the largest surface area of all the freshwater lakes in the world.
At its deepest, Lake Superior is over 400 meters deep. That's only 57 meters shorter than the CN Tower. And it's so big that it could hold the water from all other Great Lakes, plus 3 more the size of Lake Erie.
The name Lake Superior comes from the early French explorers. Now they called it Le Lac Supérieur, Upper Lake, because it was above Lake Huron. Lake Superior's Chippewa name is Gitchigumi, meaning the Great Lake. Lake Superior holds 10% of all the fresh water in the world.
Hey, Eldon!
Never mind all that largest, deepest, greatest mumbo-jumbo. Did you find the giant?
You haven't even told us where this giant is.
Well, I'm not sure exactly. Somewhere around Lake Superior.
But Eldon, Lake Superior is really big. He can't just...
We are talking about a giant! How hard could that be to find?
We could ask around, I guess.
You do that, and get me an exclusive interview.
Eldon?
CGK.
Let's go take a look around town.
Great, I'll get a map on my geopad. Hey, did you know that Thunder Bay is the geographical center of Canada?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and it says here that it is one of Canada's largest cities at 323.5 square kilometers. The area also has some really interesting and strange rock formations because it was formed by massive lava flows millions of years ago.
Thunder Bay is the capital of curling according to its tourism website. Sault Ste. Marie also claims to be the capital of curling. So does Winnipeg. We're not sure which is the true capital of curling, but I'm pretty sure we can see who's got the biggest curling rock.
It also says here that there's a canyon so big that there's snow and ice there all year round because the sun's heat can't get to it.
Now that I want to see.
Let's go!
We're on the northern coast of Lake Superior, and we're looking for a huge canyon that's around here. Maybe that's where we'll find the sleeping giant.
Hey, Sid, come check this out.
Hey guys, welcome to Wilmette Canyon.
Hey.
I'm Adam. And I'm gonna be your guide here at Sleeping Giant and at Wilmette Canyon Provincial Park. Now you're probably wondering, how did this huge hole in the ground form? About 1 million years ago, a glacier was on top of here, so if we were here 1 million years ago, there'd be ice kilometers over our heads.
I can't believe a glacier was once here. It's so dry and rocky.
Yeah, it's hard to believe how much the climate can change over thousands and even millions of years. And that's why the canyon is here today, because underneath those glaciers, there was a river that flowed under 7, maybe less glaciers that occurred in this area over the past 1 million years or so. And underneath those kilometers of ice, those rivers flowed under immense pressure and can move lots and lots of rock. So that's why you have a canyon that is 150 meters wide, almost 2.5 kilometers long, and 100 meters down to the bottom.
So what's down there anyway?
Well, there's a lot of pretty cool things down there. You can see that there's a little bit of vegetation, but if we get down there and take a closer look, we might be able to see some ice and snow, or even some Arctic plants that are usually found at 1,000 kilometers north here. Do you guys want to take a closer look?
Yeah!
Absolutely.
All right, let's rock and roll, let's go.
Woo! Canadian artists, the Group of 7, love to paint in the Lake Superior area because of its breathtaking landscapes.
All right, Sid, Edie, we made it. We're at the bottom of Wilmette Canyon.
I feel great. I can't believe I didn't.
You guys both did a great job coming down, and we should all feel pretty special because we're probably only one of a handful of people who will actually come to the bottom of the canyon. The public isn't allowed here, only CG Kids.
Ha ha ha! All right.
Nice. You can see down there, it's about 2.5 kilometers long. This is a huge canyon. It's about 150 meters wide, and we are 110 meters below where we started from. So we just did a 100-meter dash plus a little bit, except straight down.
Wow.
Well, you can really feel the temperature drop when you come down. You have the cool breeze and you're just shaded, so.
So are there
Sure.
any animals that live here? Are there any Arctic animals that would be living down here?
No Arctic animals per se, but you'll get a lot of squirrels, chipmunks, those kind of things. You might even get a deer or a bear, you can never tell.
So what do we do if we see a bear?
The first thing is not to panic. Maybe make ourselves look big and back away slowly.
Good luck, Edie.
So tell me, how often do these huge boulders fall from those cliffs? Because there seems to be, the whole canyon seems to be just filled with these like big, huge boulders.
We're talking about something that occurs very, very rarely in our lifetime. You know, maybe 3 or 4 times every 25 years.
Wow.
So don't worry while you're down here. The likelihood of you getting hit by a boulder is very low. You're much more likely to get hit by lightning. That's what you should be worried about. No, you can't scare away lightning.
It's really chilly.
Wish I brought my sweater.
Yeah, no kidding. It's hard to believe that today the weather forecast for this area was 27 degrees Celsius, and that's what it is at the top, but down here it's much, much cooler. So cool, in fact, that just under this boulder here, I found a little present for you guys. So just give me a second, I'm gonna go get it. I better watch my head
It's my
there.
birthday.
There you are.
Wow.
Big chunk of ice for both of you.
That's pretty cool.
There's 2 reasons why we have ice down here at the bottom of the canyon. The first reason is all this mossy stuff around us. That's really cool. It retains a lot of moisture and kind of creates a little tiny cool air vacuum. And the other reason is you've got a giant canyon which provides a lot of shade, and then giant boulders at the bottom of the canyon which provide a completely shaded area that gets little to no sun. And you can see that ice isn't really even melting today on this hot day. Now, we're gonna check out another thing that we would normally find in the Arctic, and that's Arctic pyrola. So it's just over there, a little ways. No time to waste here.
All right, let's go.
All right, we're here. We found our little Arctic treasure, Arctic pyrola. That big Latin scientific name is Pyrola grandiflora. And pyrola, this particular species, is usually found up in the Arctic, actually pretty common in the Arctic. But down here, a very, very rare plant, to see here. And it's got those beautiful creamy white flowers. And pyrola, a member of the wintergreen family, is kind of the common name. We do have to be very careful. This is the farthest south that Arctic pyrola occurs here. So
where else in Canada does it grow?
All over the Northwest Territories, none of it, Yukon, it's growing throughout there. It's a very common plant there.
They look so delicate.
Yeah, and that's why we're taking real care to make sure that we don't step on any of the flowers. And because this is a nature reserve, this is the kind of provincial park that is the utmost importance that it's protected and that we don't have a negative impact on it.
Adam, thanks for the tour of the canyon, but we still need to see the sleeping giant. So, is there like an escalator around here we could take, you know?
And don't worry, I'm gonna get you guys to the giant, and I've both booked you one-way tickets on the Ankle Express.
All right, let's
You guys
go.
made it down, we can do it up.
All right.
Here we go again. It's time for Triviography.
And the question is, what does oligotrophic mean?
Here's a hint. It's not something you win for coming in first place. And it's not an allergy.
Olives?
None for me. I'm oligotrophic.
So what does oligotrophic mean?
We'll let you know the answer later in the show.
Hey, okay. Where is my sleeping giant? Still sleeping?
Good news. Everyone's heard about the sleeping giant, and we're being taken to go see him.
Oh, I am about to make television history! The Gemini, the greatest prize in Canadian television.
Eldon! Eldon!
Hey, you get me that sleeping giant.
Well, here we are at the former mining community of Silver Islet, and if you look just out there, guys, you can see the big toe of the sleeping giant.
So we're getting closer.
Yeah, let's go.
We're in Silver Islet. This used to be the world's greatest silver mine, but now it's a well-preserved ghost town and tourist attraction.
Hey guys, we're here at a model of the Silver Islet mine, which is a tiny islet off the coast of Lake Superior. Now in this model, it looks like quite the production there. You got lots of buildings, a lot of houses that were inhabited by miners. But originally, the islet was about half the width of a hockey rink and not even as long. So it was a pretty small piece of land. So they built it out, and they did that by throwing rocks there, throwing timbers, pretty much anything they could find to make this islet bigger so that they could start building houses there, engine houses, boiler houses, all of those things. Now, the reason that they built this huge operation here was because this was a great vein of silver. They actually drilled 1,300 feet down to get at that silver. At the time in the 1870s, an incredible depth. To breathe down there, they had pipes that ran down and brought air. And to see down there, they would put a little candle on their helmet.
And were these very lucrative mines back then?
Yes, this particular one was probably the richest silver mine in history operating at the time. Over the 14 years of the mine, they mined over $3 million, which is a lot of bling in today's dollars. One of the cool things about Silver Islet is that there's no hydro or electricity down here. So all the energy down here is alternative forms of energy, whether it be a generator, solar powered, or wind powered. Now, Sleeping Giant Park Superintendent Cam Snell has a perfect example of an alternative energy house, and we're gonna ask him if he'll show us around. It's just up here. We're gonna take a look at an alternative energy house down here at Silver Islet.
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right. Hey Cam, how's it going?
Fine, thanks.
CG Kids, Cam Snell, Sleeping Giant Park Superintendent.
Welcome to our alternate energy home, guys. Why don't you follow me and I'll show you how it works.
Cam, what is that up there?
Well, that is a set of solar panels, and you can see there's 4, and what the solar panel does, it collects the rays of the sun into a 12-volt system, and then it transfers the 12 volts into what they call 110 volts, which is into, like you would have at your regular house.
So how much energy can you get from those 4 panels there?
It gets quite a bit. Really, it depends on the storage capacity of your batteries.
Cam, if it's an overcast day, how does that affect the solar panels?
Well, when there's an overcast day, the solar panels have a day off.
So today they're taking a break.
They're taking a break today.
Are solar panels the only way that you can get energy? Do you use any other things to collect energy?
Solar panels are the best because there's no moving parts. Wind generator is another way of collecting, and we have a wind generator way up on the hill. The batteries, as I said earlier, they're the units that store the power. So we collect the power, the energy from the wind generator and the solar panels, and then it's collected into these batteries.
How long can you last in your house? And I mean turning on the lights and using things. Like how long will it last?
We typically, if we had no sun and no wind, we could run our home for about 12 to 15 hours at full throttle, using everything as we normally would.
So does this mean you don't get any electricity bills coming to your house?
That's exactly right.
All right, it's a little bit clearer now. You can see it, the Sleeping Giant.
Finally! It's beautiful!
Whoa, that's big.
The Sleeping Giant is made up of 5 mesas, or tiny little mountains, and you can see them here. You've got the head, the Adam's apple, the chest, the arms folded over the chest, and the knees and the rest of the body. So although from Thunder Bay it looks like an 11-kilometer huge rock, it's actually 5 different mesas making up the form of the Sleeping Giant. Now when we get to the top of the Sleeping Giant, we're gonna be 1,200 feet above Lake Superior. You guys ready to go that high?
I'm a little nervous, but yeah!
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So how are rock formations like the Sleeping Giant formed? Well, we're gonna find out with the help of some Ontario Rangers.
This is the Sleeping Giant, and on the eastern side, it rises slowly and gently, while on the western side, there's deep valleys and sheer cliffs.
In this cake, there are a bunch of different layers, and these layers all represent different rock formations in the giant.
About 1 billion years ago, the Earth was stretching and ruptured, and thin fractures were formed in the Earth, and these fractures are called faults. So a hot magma that was slowly rising up squeezed its way in between the fractures, as you can see, and crystallized, forming a hard igneous rock called diabase. So as the diabase cooled, it shrunk and started to crack and formed columns in the rocks. And when this happens, it's called columnar jointing.
Glaciers, snow, hail, rain, all these weather elements helped erode away the Sibley series on top of the Sleeping Giant. Whoa! Leaving the formation of the Sleeping Giant that we see today. Also, the igneous rock, this is basically the diabase sill that we see is the layer on the Sleeping Giant. It is erosion resistant, so the weather elements today cannot erode away the formation of the Sleeping Giant, so the shape that it is today will remain for the future years.
Well, I mean, it's a really beautiful presentation, but I don't think it really looks like the Sleeping Giant. I think we need to erode this to get a more real look. Who wants to help me?
I do!
All right, guys, we finally made it. We're here on top of the Sleeping Giant. Yes, woo!
Oh my God!
Mother Nature, you rock!
So here we are, and we're roughly 1,000 feet above Lake Superior. Way over there is Silver Islet. Remember when we were hanging out there, checking that out? And here we are over the biggest lake in the world. If you look over to our right here, we can catch a glimpse of some of the highest vertical cliffs in Ontario. Some almost 800 feet up.
Wow. Thank you so much, Adam. It was awesome.
Nice.
Adam, you're tops, dog.
My pleasure.
It's time to answer today's triviography question.
The question was, what does oligotrophic mean?
A lake is oligotrophic when it lacks plant nutrients to support aquatic life. Lake Superior lacks plant nutrients and has large amounts of dissolved oxygen.
Even though it's by far the largest Great Lake, it only has about 10% of the living organisms that other Great Lakes have. So Lake Superior is ultra oligotrophic.
Lake Superior's low concentrations of nutrients and organic materials create underwater visibility averaging 8.2 meters.
So, where's this sleeping giant fella? Did you wake him?
Actually, Eldon, we're standing on the sleeping giant right now.
Really?
That is right.
He must be a sound sleeper, huh?
Eldon, I hate to break this to you, chum, but the sleeping giant isn't a real giant. It's a rock formation.
What?
Yeah, and it's one of the coolest places we've ever been.
Oh, I knew that. Hey, it's a geography show. And I sent you to uncover geography, and that's what you did. Yes, that's a great geography. This is going to kill us in the swips.
CG Kids is on the World Wide Web. Find out even more about all the incredible places that we visit on CG Kids. Just click on our website to find games, contests, and a lot more fun facts about our amazing country. Check it out.
Welcome back to 24-hour non-stop news. I'm Jody Newsworthy. Our fearless correspondent Jack is standing by with the sleeping giant. Jack?
I'm here with the sleeping giant just behind me, and I can say unequivocally that the sleeping giant is still asleep. And he's been asleep for some time. But when he wakes up, I'll be here with the tough questions. Don't you worry.
Oh, that sleepy giant. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, I love you, Popcorn.